Okay, hello. Let's take a look at this essay you've sent us. The topic is teaching children at home is best for a child's development, while others think it is important for children to go to school. Discuss the advantages of both methods. Okay, and give your own opinion. So it's not advantages, disadvantages, but it's advantages of both. And then you also have to supply your own opinion. So let's see what you had to say about this. There is an opinion that homeschooling is the best way of a child's development, while others insist that it is essential to go to school for children to socialize with other people with proper material. I examined both affirmative and negative perspective on homeschooling. Okay, well, some of the grammar here is a little off, so I'd like to change some of that. And remember, they didn't ask you the negative perspective on homeschooling, so this is wrong. They asked you quite specifically, and I even emphasized it. They asked you for the advantages of homeschooling and the advantages of school. The advantages of one are not necessarily the disadvantages of the other, so be very careful with that, okay? As an examiner, I would look at this and say, perhaps this test taker is going to focus on the wrong thing here, and that will certainly detract from your task achievement score, all right? So let's take a look at the rest of this, starting from the beginning, and I'll tell you what else is wrong with this. There is an opinion that homeschool. Basically, we try to avoid too many sentences that start with there is. So you could have said, many believe that homeschooling is the best way to help a child develop. All right, that's a better way of expressing this. While others insist that it is essential for children to go to school to socialize with other people. I didn't understand this proper material. That made no sense. And then what you're missing here is this, your own opinion. They've asked you for it. It's very important that you put it in your introduction. You have to make your position clear throughout your answer. So the best way to do that, the easiest way to do that rather, is to include it in your introduction, okay? Okay. I don't like this enormous reasons. We don't want to talk about the size of the reasons, but we want to talk about the value of them and how many there are rather than how big the reasons are. What does that mean, a big reason? So you could have said there are major reasons why, or there are significant reasons why people choose homeschooling rather than public education. This is because people who live far away from the city could not punctually attend public school compared with others who reside in suburbs or downtown. Huh? Suburbs or downtown? Okay, fine. Another reason is that a child has his or her own pace to acquire knowledge. However, public schools cannot help putting a lot of energy. No, public schools cannot put a lot of energy into leading their curriculum based on one individual's ability. For instance, students are divided by their ages, not their intellectual ability, so that this could generate uneven opportunities to study what they desire. Full stop. No, I think here. Your ideas are nice, but there are some issues with them. I would have liked you to develop this a little more. So great. So they can't punctually attend public school. All right. So what's the solution? They have to get homeschooled. I wanted you to explore this a little further. Explain to me why homeschooling is the best option for these students. And this was okay, but some of the language was funny, so it created some difficulty for me. All right. In here, although there are many disadvantages would trigger way more significant issues. Not way, it's far too informal. So you could say far more significant issues. Firstly, socializing is a severe problem. See, this is, all right, let's see. Socializing is a severe problem in the modern era, and public schools are perfect places where students know how to make relationships, but homeschooling students will be in solitude because their friends are only their parents. Secondly, the lack of educational material will be another issue. For example, how can we trust unqualified teachers even if they want to be a teacher? This is what I was afraid of. You developed the wrong thing here. We don't want to know about the disadvantages of homeschooling. Instead, look at it again. The advantages of both methods. So you're not helping your case at all by discussing the disadvantages of homeschooling. You should be talking about the advantages of public education, of going to a school. All right, it doesn't have to be public. It could be any private or public, but it has to be a school, okay? So, and this should have a question mark here, by the way. And then this also didn't make sense. The lack of educational material. This is they don't relate to each other. It's one idea to talk about educational material, and it's another thing to talk about the qualifications of the teacher. Those are two different issues, so one is not an example of the other, okay? All right, so to sum up, it is very important to develop the way of studying, and homeschooling would be a good idea. I personally think that there are certain occasions people should have homeschool, otherwise others should attend their public school. All right, this should not be one sentence. It should be split into two. Full stop here. It is very important to develop, I don't understand this whole sentence. The way of studying and homeschooling will be a good idea. What does that mean, the way of studying? I really don't understand that. And homeschooling is a good idea. Full stop. And then the rest of it is fine. So as you can see, there are a number of different issues here. You misinterpreted the task, and so that's going to take away from your task achievement score. There were some areas that were incoherent. I just was not clear on what you were trying to say at all. So those are some things I want you to work on. I'd like to see you on the course. I think you'll find a lot of the information there priceless to help you both structure essays, to understand the questions, and to get some good lessons on some grammar, some vocabulary, all the things that I think will help you to do well in IELTS. So do take a look at that as an option. I hope to see you on the course. Best of luck.